Jimmy Kimmel I can't believe we're all not screaming 24 hours a day. Took questions from TV critics at a press conference in Beverly Hills on Monday and weighed in on the recent tragic mass shootings, his on-air punditry, and whether he'd ever run for elected office. On the mass shootings in Ohio and Texas over the weekend, Trump handles everything beautifully. As you know, it's horror. On what role late-night hosts have in doing political or topical commentary. David Letterman got that ball rolling, then Jon Stewart said you, and still continues to say you, a lot of important things. I just don't know on whether he considered retiring before signing his new 3-year deal. I was seriously considering you. I don't know if it's retirement because I'd always do something. I know what this sound on hostless Oscars, and whether he'd host a third time, it's a no-win type situation. It's a very difficult job. Even when it seems, on partnering with former The Apprentice producer Mark Burnett for his live in front of a studio audience specials. If you're asking me if will I remind him 50 times a day that he helped Trump become president, I will. But there's no way Mark Burnett has the vision that this monster would become president. And if he does, on whether he'd ever run for political office, I will never run for office. I was the coach of my son's basketball team, and I couldn't deal with that. You, all the parents coming up trying to get their kids more time in the game. And I would be like, you want to coach this team? And I feel like Kimmel made the comments while appearing supporting his ABC late night show Jimmy Kimmel Live at the Television Critics Association's press tour.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park.